For those of you online, we're gonna get started here in just a minute. At that point, if you cannot see my screen or hear me, please let me know in the chat, and I'll put that in the chat as well, just in case you can't hear me. Righty. We're gonna go ahead and get started. And today's class is all about setting up tasks for our business and command. So we're gonna go over three things today. We're gonna go over tasks that we can set up for new contacts that we're meeting on the go. So the 8x8 smart plan, basically. We're gonna go over the 36 Touch Carolinas. I always get the name of the smart plan wrong. Basically a smart plan that helps you clean up your contacts and helps you stay on top of them. And then the last thing we're gonna go over is opportunity checklists. And actually, we might start with that one. I'm changing things up just because I always end with opportunity checklists. And in case you don't stick around to the end, I want to make sure that you know this resource is out here. Because it's something that if I were an agent, that I would probably set up first, or one of the things I would set up first. Because I love having a system set up and having kind of a to-do list that I can check each day for my mental load. So anything I'm going over today, and to introduce myself, I'm Jules. I'm the Market Center Tech Trainer here. If you'd like to book a 30-minute one-on-one appointment with us, you can always do so by coming to kwbresources.com and clicking I Need Tech Help in the top right corner. That's going to bring you to our calendar so that you can book with us. And yeah, for those of you online, just let me know if you have any questions at any point. You can put that right in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask me at any point. So let me know. For the most part today, we're going to be in command, which is, of course, at agent.kw.com. And anything that we're going over that may seem like a little more advanced or that you would like a slower overview on, feel free to book with us. These Thursday classes are our advanced classes. So we do go a little faster on Thursdays than we do on Tuesdays. So one, of course, feel free to book with us, but also if you're a newer agent, those Tech Tuesday classes from 1 to 2 p.m. might be a good suit for you as well. Great. So we're going to sign into command, and I'm going to need a code here. Now I'm going to be able to get signed in here. Okay. So yeah, we're going to actually start with opportunity checklists. And I'm going to allow you to, I'm going to go over those steps, and I'm going to show you a couple things. One, some steps that we can use and put in there, but I'm also going to show you where you can find a video on how to do this if you ever want to do this at a later time. Because it is something that's a little more tedious, because it's something you have to set up for each phase of the opportunity. But once it's set up once, you can use that in your business forever. So if you do the legwork of doing it out the gate, it could have a really great effect on your business. So before I jump into opportunities, I'm going to actually pull up an answers article that has a great template that we can use. And to get to our answers articles, I'm just going to pull up a different tab and go to answers.kw.com. And here I'm going to type in checklist templates. And this is the one I'm looking for here. It's called Create and Edit Task Checklist Templates and Opportunities. These are essentially written steps on exactly what we're going to do today. So this is something to reference as well. The other video, the how-to video on this task, is also on our KWB resources page. It's under tech resources and live tech training. So where you find our calendar, if you keep scrolling down, there's some class notes that we put on here. And if you click on top 5 command features, that's where you're going to find the videos, instructions on how to set this up. So if you work better with a video, here's that video. And then also the written steps you can find on answers.kw.com. But what's extra cool on this answers article is if you click on this first hyperlink and log into command or log into Google, I mean. It's going to ask you to make a copy of this document, so you can make a copy. So now that's going to save that into your Google Drive, which is great. But basically, they have set up a kind of like a template that you can use of ideas that you can have for tasks to set up for each opportunity phase. So the whole idea is, all right, we can put our lead in as like a watch phase. And then if we're under that phase, these are the tasks that are going to pop up for you automatically so that you know what to do on each phase to move them along, that hopefully you can eventually get to close. So now that we have this pulled up, and again, you can always find this on the answers article that I have pulled up here. And it's right here, click here, that's that template. So we're going to use that. And we're also going to have command up in a separate tab so we can utilize those checklist items and set this up in our command. So to do so, we're going to start by going to the opportunity section of command, which is this handshake icon. And right, the whole idea of an opportunity pipeline is just as cheesy as it sounds. It's when you get an opportunity to sell or buy. So some agents use opportunities and will only put in, an opportunity when they go under contract. But the opportunity section is supposed to help you more than that. So not just to help get you paid, which of course is maybe most important, but it's also helping you move them along and figure out what you're supposed to do to help move them along to get them to close. So that's the whole point of your pipeline. So to start with our setup of these checklists, we're just going to click on the phase that we want to start with. So this is something that you have to set up per like listing or buyer, per pipeline, and per phase. So it is a tedious task. But again, if you set it up once, it's then on every opportunity you have moving forward. So let's start with listings and cultivate. We can click on that section and go to this page. And then we're going to find stages and checklists in the top right corner. So I click on the phase and then I click on stages and checklists in the top right corner. It is then going to, so one, on the right-hand side, you can edit what those phases say. So if you have something that's more applicable for your business, you can totally edit what the stage name is. But here under the checklist column is where you're going to find and where you're going to set up our checklist. So starting with the watch, so the cultivate stage under watch, we can click on that. And yours is going to say 0 of 0 items. I just did a test this morning. And we can click on that to start adding our task items. Hey. So we can utilize that a spreadsheet. We can have that pulled up in a separate tab here. And we can basically just copy and paste each of these sections or each of these task items into our opportunity task. So I went to this first one here since we're under cultivate and watch, and I'm going to copy it. Oh, I'm sorry. On the bottom here, this is letting me know that we're looking at a buyer's checklist. So we can actually go over on the bottom tabs here so we can go to the listings checklist, which is going to look different, of course, down the line here in your active, but we can copy this task. Then where I am again, I'm just to make sure we're on the same page here. We clicked on the phase. We went up to stages and checklists. And then we're clicking on the 0 of 0 items. I'll just delete this. That was a test this morning. And let's just click add task. So a few things we're going to fill out here. One being the task name. We can paste that in from our spreadsheet we have in the email. Next, the client update. So what that toggle does, it allows you to send an email once you complete that task, letting them know that you've completed this task. This really doesn't make as much sense at the beginning, like at the cultivate phase. I think it's kind of weird if you were to send them an email letting them know you obtained their phone number. But maybe down the line, like at active, under contract and close, you can turn on those client updates. So as you are doing things for the client, they're going to receive a summary update every day of all the tasks you completed for them. I think this is highly, highly valuable because I don't think enough people understand just how much real estate agents do. They just kind of think you find the house and that's it. But these are all the things that you are doing for them behind the scenes. And you can let them know automatically just by 1, setting up your checklist, but 2, turning on client updates. And I love this on here. For these checklist items, they actually let you know which ones they would recommend turning client updates for. So like under appointment, pulling the deed, and preparing a CMA, they recommend putting yes on client update. So again, they can receive an email update of those tasks you completed for them. So let's just keep going to go through the full steps. So task type, we can of course decide here. If you're not sure, you can just select other. Description, you can put a description here if need be to really help you with your instructions on how to go about this. You can add in a hyperlink if you would like, a priority level, and a due date. Now these things I would maybe recommend just keeping kind of as is so that you don't have to do any extra work, but just know these fields exist for any of these tasks that you might want to add those fields for. And then click create. Awesome. So just to go through those steps, and we're going to do the full cultivate watch phase, and I'm going to just do each of these tasks so that you can watch along and see how we are going about this. Maybe for the tell our story, you put the story right here in the description so that you can easily copy and paste that over when it is time to email that. Great. Oops. Okay, and then be sure to click save once you've added those in. And you'll see now your checklist has changed from 0 to 0 to 0, 4. And just to show you how this now displays, so now that we have that set up and saved, I want to show you how that's going to look for you when you start a new opportunity and put a opportunity in this phase. So I'm just going to go up to create opportunity in the top right. And since I set this up as a listing, I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to select a test client, or maybe if you don't have a test, just like yourself in there. And then the last thing I do need to put here is the commission rate, but that can be changed at any point. So just go ahead and put a number and click create. So now that I've selected that, I'll see in the top right corner, that I have 4 tasks that I need to complete. And the whole point is to move them to the next phase. So you can click up by the task up here and see what tasks we have to do. You can also click create task up here, and it's going to create a task for this specific opportunity. So those steps that we just completed previously, that was to set it up for every single opportunity moving forward. But you can also create tasks based off specific opportunities in case that you need to do that. And those are those steps. So we clicked on task and we went to create task up here. Now, by default, every single opportunity, the client update feature is turned off. And that is for, your privacy, so that nothing's getting sent out by mistake or that anything that you don't know about. So that is something that you have to turn on per opportunity, given that you want that client to receive client updates. And to turn that on, we would be in the opportunity and we'd go up to client updates. And we would need to turn this toggle on. And then we're even able to select a further details on that. So we can decide when that is sent, at what time. We can select who that's sent from, especially if you're on a team. And just to preview what that email looks like, there's like this preview button down here. So this is how that would display for them. So it would be branded to you up at the top. It would fill in with that contact's name and the address that you're selling. And then those checklist item 1, 2, and 3, those would actually fill in with the task that you're completing for them so that they can see all that you've done. And then your information at the bottom. So this is just an automatic email that gets sent as your, but you do have to turn on the client updates per opportunity. But now that we've created this opportunity and we have them in the phase that we set up those tasks under, okay. Now we got new task reminders. I sorted by the most recent ones. Because I created the opportunity, put them in that phase. Now I have 4 new to-do lists that I can complete to move them to the next phase. Now, switching a little bit over to the app and the command app, which is on your phone. Now, there is a task section in command, which is the icon we're on the left-hand toolbar. This is our task section in here. So you can, of course, see your tasks right from here. I think it's even more valuable to be able to see that on your phone. And you can do so through the command app. Where it keeps signing me out. Okay. So on the command app, the whole idea is that each morning we should be able to open up our command app and see what we have to do today with the task right on top of due today. And when you open up your command app, those tasks appear right at top. Now, I just so now that I had set that up, my newest task notification is letting me know that I need to go obtain the address for the contact. What's even better is when I click on that task, it's actually linked to the contact in question. So I can just click on that contact from the app, click the 3 dots in the top right corner to edit it and add in that information. Okay. So I would highly recommend, if I give you any homework today from class, that you go through and set up, even if it's just this template that you set up in your account, it's at least a really good start. And what's really cool is that you can add to those tasks. So as you are doing things in your business, like each time under this phase, you're always doing X, Y, or Z, you can customize this fully to your business. So again, that you're getting task notifications for each phase on how to move them to each spot. And to go through those steps, just for one more example on going through those steps, I'll do the nurture phase as well, since there's only two. So again, where we went to cultivate for listings. And we're going to go up to stages and checklists in the top right. We completed our watch phase, so now we're going to go to our nurture phase, which I have no items set up yet. I'll click on that. I'll click add task. Come over to our spreadsheet and copy the task. Paste it. Since this is a call, I am going to switch this to a call. And then I'm going to click create. Awesome. Got one. We're going to do that to the next one. I'm going to come in, copy, go to add task, paste. And this, this one, for example, is a little more evergreen, just add the smart plan. So in the description, maybe we say which smart plan we add them to. So maybe they are long-term, maybe they're midterm nurture, maybe. And then click create, and then click save. And I didn't turn any client updates on. I could by checking this checkbox here, but I didn't do that because it didn't tell me to on the spreadsheet, because it would give me a Y here if it wanted me to. So now I click save. Again, to show you that, like popping up those new tasks. If I were to move any of these opportunities into this new phase, I'm going to get those two new task notifications that pop up for me right here. I'm going to get them right from the opportunity section. And I'm even going to see it in my task section on my command app and on the computer. And those tasks come right up, so I know what to do next. Any questions on that? On setting up the opportunity checklists, why it's valuable? I do highly recommend at least setting up this template so that you have something to work off of and build from there. And just do keep note that there are different tabs on the bottom of the spreadsheet. So there's the buyers checklist, there's this listings checklist. Right. All right, if we have no questions on that, we're going to move to our next example of how we can set up tasks in our command account. So this next example we're going to do if we need a new contact on the go. And for this example, I'm going to use my command app for the most part. So for those of you online, if you can just follow along with my voice, and just let me know if you have questions in the chat below. But this is going to be in the command app, which is the red app with a white KW. And we're going to do the example, we're meeting a brand new contact. So we're going to add a new contact, and then we're going to add them to the smart plan to trigger all our tasks to happen. So open up the command app, and on the home page is fine. We're going to find a plus sign in the bottom right corner. And we're going to get the option to add contact. So there's only one thing that you do need to have in order to add a contact to command, and that's the name. But of course, we would want to add as much contact information as we can. But for this example, let's just put the name in and click save. So when we save that contact to command, and it's actually recommended that when you need a new contact, instead of adding them to like your phone directly, if you got through the habit of adding them to the command app directly, you can save them to your phone as well with just one additional tap. So as soon as we save that contact to command, we can click the three dots in the top right corner, and there's going to be an extra option to save contact to phone. So that allows the contact to appear in your command as well as on your phone to contact that way too. But then once we add that contact to command on our command app, we're going to see a white toolbar like right near the top. And it's going to give us a few options. It says details, timeline, opportunities. We're going to tap on smart plans. Okay. Once we tap on smart plans, we're going to click that plus sign in the bottom right. And we're going to search for 8x8 new contact engagement. And add to plan. You do have to, so this final stage is kind of trying to show you what this smart plan is doing. You can't really see too much from the app. So just scroll down and click the checkbox at the bottom and confirm, and I'll kind of walk through what it's doing for us. But really, those should be your steps every single time you meet a new contact on the go. You should add them to your command app. You should click those three dots in the top corner to save to the phone as well. And then you should go over to smart plans and add them to the 8x8 new contact engagement so that you start getting tasks on how to engage with a new contact. And let's see what that 8x8 is actually doing for us. So with any smart plans, and if you're newer to smart plans, what smart plans are is it can do an email campaign. So it is a section for email campaigns. So you can send a series of emails, but it goes above and beyond that. So you can send a series of emails. You can send text messages. It can pop up with tasks to remind you to do things in your business. So I kind of think of smart plans as a great follow-up tool, but also a great tool to set up systems in your business by setting up tasks so that the mental load is taken off of you. So in this section here, I'm just going to search for my 8x8. And if anybody doesn't have the 8x8 smart plan, let me know, or you can download that in the library. It's under the KW ones, but that should be in your account. And I'm going to select the pencil icon to the far right to open it up to see what it's doing for us. So the first thing it does is it sends them a text. Now, all smart plan text messages are sent through JuLeah. And what JuLeah is in command is the ability to automate text messages and bulk send text messages in command. So yes, with these text message steps, you do have to have JuLeah. So if you don't have JuLeah, it would just skip this step and it goes to the next one. But I do recommend looking into JuLeah as a tool in your business. I do think it's a good thing to have. Feel free to book an appointment with us and we can kind of talk through the pros and cons and the best strategy to set that up. Since today's class is more focused on tasks, we're going to kind of skim over that. So yeah, also, and I cannot, let me actually go back and delete this contact so I can show you that real fast. Okay. Yeah, with a text step in a smart plan, by default, it does want you to have JuLeah connected. However, you can switch that text step to a text task. Wow, that was a lot to say. That was a and I do like this for a couple of reasons. So One, if you utilize JuLeah, that's not coming from your personal phone number. So it does take away that personal touch a bit with text messaging. But instead, you could switch this to a text task so that you're just reminded to go text this person instead of it automatically sending. And that way it is coming from your personal phone number. So that's what I did for this example. It was on send an on-bay text, and I changed it to create a text task. And so now I'm just going to be reminded to go send that text instead. Let's save changes. Now this smart plan really is a series of tasks. So you're going to get then reminded to go send them an email. And this is a new contact. Of course, Gerard. Yes.
Automatic.
Uh-huh.
And it's text.
Yeah, well, it depends how yours is set up. So if you look into your birthday smart plan, so like if you go to your smart plan section and then you search for the search bar up there for the birthday one by just typing a birthday. Oh, no, not at all. You're not interrupting. This is very on point. Yeah, it's under, like, if you search for birthday in the smart plans and click the pencil icon to the far right.
I have one coming up here.
Nice. Ooh. Did you put that home anniversary in there? Oh, good job, Gerard. Oh, close day. Oh. Oh, are you looking for the content? I see, I see. Click on like John's name right there. It should be on this page. Okay, yeah. Nice. Okay. So now go to smart plans. It's just going to be that.
Right?
I don't know if I can.
My birthday.
Okay, click on. I don't think we can edit it. I need to like edit it.
Okay, so now, see how it says contact person, I mean, do I put that in there?
No, no. So command's going to fill that in for you so that you're reminded about that. And it does look like your name is on that. So and just to show you what that is saying for you.
I don't want to say.
Please say that. Oh, you're so funny. It looks like you edited it. Yeah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah.
So now how do I make sure that it's gonna say it'll say his name, right?
Well, no, it's not going to fill in. It will for this. Like, you're going to get reminded to make a call to his name.
I mean, the text, when he gets the text, will it say his name or no?
No.
It'll just say happy birthday.
And
Okay,
it says your name.
gotcha. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's my favorite use of the Twilio, truly, is even if you get it just to send them a happy birthday text. That's doing a great touch. Yeah, I love that. For sure. And so I'm just going to go back to that 8x8 new contact engagement. And again, clicking that pencil icon to the far right is going to open it up for us. So yeah, you can change this task if you don't use Twilio as a task if you would like. It's then going to remind you to go send them an email. So a let's grab coffee email. It's going to remind you to call them. Again, it can send a text, but you can also change this text to a task. And what I would recommend doing before you click create a text task to change that, I would copy what this says and then change it Oh, good. Never mind. They updated that. So now it does just go ahead and saves that. And then you can give it a name like text. And if you're giving it a name, we're going to go with text and then contact first name and contact last name under merge field so we know who to text. And to make our lives a little easier, I'm also going to add in the description a merge field for the contact's phone number so that I can simply click on it to start texting. Save. So you'll see that you'll get a series of different tasks after that. One of the things it does do though is adds them to the monthly neighborhood nurture. Just a reminder, that only can start if you have an email and a neighborhood attached to the contact. If not, it's just going to skip that step. But that is something that you would want to maybe grab in the earlier steps. So that being said, I might recommend that under make a call, if we edit that, we grab email and address from contact. So we're reminded to do that. That way, if we add that information in the next 14 days, they'd receive an email breaking down their neighborhood. Be sure any changes you're making, you're clicking Save Smart Plan in the top right. And do know that you can edit this based off your business. So whatever you typically do for a new contact, you can set up that exact system here. But do keep in mind that this is going to be like an evergreen system. So like you wouldn't want to set this up like for a specific person and like say things in there that are more specific to the person, more so evergreen, that it would apply to any new contact you would meet. All right, click the X in the top right corner. Gonna move us back. And we already went through the workflow of how to add a contact to that smart plan. And I would recommend just doing that from the command app. It makes the most sense with your workflow when you meet a new agent or a new contact, just to add them right away. All right, the last thing we're going to go over today is going to be the 36 Touch Carolinas region. And essentially what that is a smart plan that will help you clean up your contacts. So before we jump into that, strategically, I may recommend that we start in the contact section. And not necessarily something you can do in a few minutes, but maybe as some extra homework aside from the opportunity checklist. Don't forget about that. I would encourage you to go through your contacts and create a VIP tag or something of the sorts that we are going to tag a top 10 or 20% of our database. And when I say the top 10 or 20%, I'm meaning anyone who might be a hot lead, a hot referral, and that way we can, or anyone that you would want to spend your time or money on. So time or money meaning like with pop buy gifts, and time wise meaning like you picking up the phone and calling them. Because if you have like $1,000 or 1,000 contacts in your database, that might be a very overwhelming task to go through and clean up all of them. So it'd be better to identify people you'd like to start with. And again, hot lead, hot referral, so that we can add just the people so that we're not overwhelmed by this process. So my first recommendation would be to go to your contact section. And by default, I believe everyone's database only shows them 10 contacts at a time. But if we click show 1 to 10, we can change that to up to 500 contacts at a time. So we can see more as we go through. Next, we can check next to the checkbox of anyone we would like to tag as a VIP. Again, this should look more like 10 to 20%, like the top 10% of your CRM. And we're just going to select the checkbox next to people who fit this criteria. So we can select as many as we want here. And as soon as we select a checkbox, this actions field will appear where we can go ahead and add tags. And if you do not already have a VIP tag, you can just simply type in VIP and click Create Tag. It will prompt you to give it a color. Totally up to you. And then click Create Tag. Once you click Create Tag, that's still selected. You'll see like one selected in the bottom left here. Let's feel really good about it. You could also scroll down, see that's selected, and click Submit. So that would be my first recommendation, is to go through and identify the top people in your database. Then these are the people I'd recommend starting with adding to this 36 Touch Carolina Smart Plan. And let's go now download that one. So we're going to jump into the Smart Plan section. We're going to go up to Library at the top. And we're going to just search in the search bar up here for 36 Touch Carolinas. And we're looking for this one by Sydney Seymour, who's our regional tech. And we're going to click Add Smart Plan here. And it is a bundled smart plan, so it's going to say like download next to each of these as well. We're going to download all of them and then click download at the very bottom last to download every single thing on the smart plan. So why I love the smart plan so much is because, one, the first thing it does, and we'll take a look, is it reminds you to go clean up that contact. Then it adds them to the best smart plans in command for you automatically. So to check this out, we're going to go back to My Smart Plans on the top here, or you can just click on Smart Plans on the menu. And if you just downloaded that, that should be right up top for you. I'm just going to search for mine. And we're going to click on the pencil icon to the far right of it to open it up. So the first thing it's doing, I'm going to click on this at the middle of the page to see what it's doing on the right-hand side. It's going to fill in a new contact, and we can select how many contacts in a given day you could clean up. So let's say, and I would recommend starting actually lower than higher. So let's say we could clean up 2 contacts in a day. We're going to be able to select that number, and it's going to fill in with 2 new contacts to clean up. And it's even going to remind you of those 5 things that's recommended to get. So email, phone number, address, home anniversary, and birthday. Then it's going to add them to the top smart plans in command based off the contact information that you grabbed. So you're going to edit that contact, put all that information into the contact record. Then the next day, they're going to receive a hyperlocal neighborhood email right to their inbox, and that's going to go over to them automatically bi-weekly. It's also going to add them to the quarterly call plan so that you're reminded once a quarter to call them. So you're staying top of mind. It is then going to add them to the birthday smart plan so that you are reminded on their birthdays. And if you have Twilio, it can even send out a happy birthday text. It adds them to the home anniversary smart plan, so you're reminded to reach out on that date as well. And it does go a bit and beyond those KW smart plans. So it does remind you to reach out to them on social media, which is a great channel. It does send a text as well, just sharing your app with them. Huh. It does look like you need to add it in. I don't know if this is just mine or not, but just click on this link to download it. Let's go to add merge field. And yeah, it should be under here, but if not, you can also just go find your link and paste it in there. Right. It does send them an email in the smart plan. I do like to point that out. So there is something that it would send if you add your contacts to it. And this is what that's sending. So if you click on it here and click on preview, you can see what that email is. It's like why I got into real estate kind of email. And it would fill in with all your information out there. But thank you. However, you can, of course, any steps that you don't want in here, you can always click on and delete. So if you don't want them to receive this email and you want this purely just for your cleanup processes, you can click that trash can icon and click delete. And the last thing it does here is to remind you to go check the path of them, see how they're doing. And yeah, you can add anything extra. So that smart plan is fantastic for your cleanup process. So now let's talk about how we can now add our VIPs to this smart plan to get it started. So I would recommend adding contacts to a smart plan from the contact section. We can do that at 500 contacts at a time. And I'll do the example of, let's say we already went through and tagged all our VIPs and we want to add them to the smart plan. I'm going to click on filters. And then under filters, I'm going to find tags. And I can search for my VIP tag here. Click apply. And just heads up, you can select as many tags as you want for this. Click apply. Then it's going to filter out for those tags contacts. And again, this is really just for people or agents who might have just a ton of contacts, like 1,000 contacts. If you have more like 200 contacts, I would recommend just adding all your contacts to the smart plan. And I'll show you those steps too. So first, we're filtering by that tag. If we then select this top checkbox, it's going to select all. We can go to actions, add the smart plan, and find that 36 touch Carolinas region. Now it's going to pop up with errors, so people missing phone numbers or emails or something like that. It's important for this smart plan specifically that we click add to this plan anyway, because we're trying to clean up these contacts, so that makes sense. And now this is a very, very key step. We want to stagger start the smart plan. And really any smart plans that have tasks associated with them, we would want to stagger start so that we don't receive, like, for example, like 200 tasks on one day. This allows us to select, okay, how many contacts in a given day can I clean up? And I would recommend starting lower. So let's say like 3. So now I'll receive 3 new contacts each day to clean up. And be sure to click this checkbox and click confirm. And that's what's going to start that smart plan. So starting tomorrow, so each business day, you're going to receive 3 new contacts to clean up. Now, of course, for only 4 contacts, that doesn't really make sense. But this would be if I had like hundreds of contacts tagged as VIP. If you want to just add all your contacts to the smart plan, my first step I would recommend is changing this to 500 at a time so I can see all of them. I could use the top checkbox, we'll select all, actions, add to smart plan. "36 touch Carolinas." We're going to do add to plan anyway. Key step. If we started this right now, we would receive 78 tasks for tomorrow. So instead, we want to stagger start this, do 3. Make sure you check this checkbox and then confirming, let's start that up. And again, I would recommend using your command app for your task management. And just to show you how that would display for this specific smart plan. So on your command app, under the task notification or the task icon on the menu, your first thing would be a cleanup and then it would fill in with the contact record. So clean up contact record for Dr. Frankenstein. It's going to tell you exactly what you need to grab from them. So it's a matter of if you have their email, go ahead and email them. If you have their phone number, go ahead and call them and try to get those 5 pieces of information. But not only grab those 5 pieces of information, be sure that you're putting them into the contact record by clicking on that contact, going to the 3 dots and clicking edit. Will allow you to add all those 5 things in there and click save. And then you can go back to that task and mark it as complete, because that's all you would need to do in order for it to start on all the best smart plans then after that. After that, it's automatic. But the main thing, and kind of a habit relearner, would be to get in the habit of signing into your command app each day so you know what you're doing for your business today. Any questions on that? Anything I went over today? Please repeat it one more time. Oh man. Well, if you do have any questions, of course, feel free to book with us, kwbresources.com, and I need tech help in the top right corner. I'll be sticking around for like a few extra minutes today. So if you have extra questions online, just throw it in the chat for me and I'll answer those. But yeah, thank you for coming today. And our next class is next Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m. And it's DocuSign 101 is back. So if you have not done DocuSign 101, please attend next Tuesday, 1 to 2 p.m. Right. Thank you so much for coming, guys. What's the cup? Let's see. Oh, thanks for coming, Gerard. Let's see you next week. Have a great night.